Information presented on this program and by its guests is believed to be factual and up-to-date, but we do not guarantee its accuracy, and it should not be regarded as a complete analysis of the subjects discussed. Discussions and answers to questions do not involve the rendering of personalized investment advice, but are limited to the dissemination of general information and may not be suitable for members of the listening audience. A professional advisor, attorney, or tax professional should be consulted before implementing any of the strategies presented.
Are you retired or getting close? Welcome to Retirement Lifestyles with Patrick McNally, where it's all about having the health, wealth, and freedom you need to live your dream retirement. Are there challenges on the way? You bet. Inflation, the economy, and the ups and downs of today's markets will try to rob you of your dreams. But take heart and take notes, because what you're about to learn will put you on the winning side of life for the rest of your life. Now, here's the host of Retirement Lifestyles, Patrick McNally.
News Talk 105.7 KQMS. Good morning, Reading. Good morning to the North State. Welcome to, Kaylee's throwing on a little extra tunage there. Hey, it's Memorial Day weekend. Why wouldn't we just kind of get wild here, right? Have a little fun.
That's it.
Welcome to the show. This is Retirement Lifestyle. This is where it's all about having the health, wealth, and freedom to live your dream retirement. I am your host, Patrick McNally, with me, Mr. Rick Comerick. And like we said, Rick, it is Memorial Day weekend, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Did bake some bread this morning, did some laundry, did a little gardening, so it's all good.
It's all good?
It's all good.
You got any big old plans for the weekend? Going to maybe get to the lake or find some water somewhere?
Yeah, I would like to. I haven't really made plans on that yet, so we'll
might
see.
Just be kind of a relaxer around the house.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
That sounds like fun. Well, folks, like we said, Memorial Day weekend, we just want to take a quick minute just to honor our fallen soldiers, those who have given the ultimate sacrifice, and we say thank you to them, their families, and also thank you to all the men and women who continue to serve in our armed forces. So thank you very much, and we honor you this weekend. It's going to be a fun one, I think. It's going to be warm. It seems like always Memorial Day weekend. I don't know. I'm thinking back. Tell me if this is true or not. But It's like that's when we start hitting like 99s and 100 around here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, sometimes it could be a cool weekend, but a lot of times it's a good hot one here in the North State. And I remember many times going down to Whiskey Town on Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Getting your spot and whatnot. So
going to Brandy Creek, maybe seeing some barbecuing going on
for sure.
out there.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a good time to do that.
That's good stuff. Let's preview this show, Rick. We've been in financial services for over 20 years. And if you want more income in retirement or you worry about running out, we'll help you build a retirement paycheck from those investments that's predictable, consistent, and safe, and can even increase every year no matter what that market does. You're going to have more peace of mind and the freedom to enjoy that dream retirement. The title of the show today is The Top 5 Planning Areas of Retirement. When it comes to preparing for retirement and thinking about doing some, quote-unquote financial planning, a lot of times people wonder, what the heck is financial planning? What does that even mean? I've been told, Rick, I know you have too, been told by many people, they often feel like their financial life is kind of like scattered all up in the air, like a bunch of separate puzzle pieces kind of floating around. Well, today we want to help you bring some of those pieces together, and we're going to list out the top 5 areas that you need to be focusing on. In the second half, we're going to have some sponsor highlights, market update, and then to wrap up Disability Insurance Awareness Month, we're going to discuss 4 myths around disability insurance. So, as always, we got a loaded show for you folks, and I'm super excited. Rick, are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right, folks. You know what to do next. I want you to go refill your coffee, grab that notepad, because we're getting started in 2 minutes.
You're listening to Retirement Lifestyles with Patrick McNally.
You've heard me say it's all about having the health, wealth, and freedom you need to live your dream retirement. Keep your health, and you'll keep more of your wealth. And that leads to the lifestyle you've always wanted. Strong City Strength and Conditioning is ready to help you achieve the best fitness results you've ever had. Strong City is located on Victor Avenue and is offering group classes that are fun and designed to get you in great shape. Call them today at 510-3049. That's 510-3049. You've heard me say it's all about having the health, wealth, and freedoms you need to live your dream retirement. When it comes to the health side, I want to tell you about my family's personal chiropractor, Dr. Todd Royce, owner of Chiropractic First. Not only does he adjust us and get us back to our active lives, he teaches us about ongoing nutrition and living healthier. If you have any pain or stiffness in your back or neck, I want you to call Chiropractic First today at 243-0889. Mention Patrick for a free consultation. You don't need to live with pain or discomfort anymore. Call Dr. Todd at 243-0889 888-888-9669 or visit online at cairofirst.net. If you've listened to my show before, then you know I talk to a lot of people about their retirement planning. For 20 years, I've taught people just like you the secrets of how to set up and manage their investments for a lifetime of income, how to create a predictable, consistent, and safe retirement paycheck that can increase every year no matter what the market does. Now it's your turn. Visit retirementfilm.com and watch a free training video I recorded. Go now to retirementfilm.com. That's retirementfilm.com.
Welcome back to Retirement Lifestyles.
Welcome back to the show. This is Retirement Lifestyles. I'm your host, Patrick McNally, with me, Mr. Rick Comerick, and we're talking about hot dogs. We're talking about cookies during the break there, talking about, what are we going to be maybe eating this weekend?
Why do we have so many holidays?
I don't know, because we're trying to balance. It's become a balancing act now, Rick,
right?
Between eating all this yummy stuff and, working out, at Strong City Strength and Conditioning.
Yeah.
It's no longer about getting lifelong fit. It's about just breaking even.
Right. Totally.
And it's Memorial Day weekend, folks. So this is the weekend to let loose a little bit. Maybe enjoy some of those hot dogs, and burgers, and that kind of stuff.
For sure.
Right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Let's go back to Earth, Rick. We got to talk serious stuff. We're talking money. Okay.
Right.
Let's talk money. Top 5 planning areas of retirement. But before we do, I want to give you a book. I want to give you a copy of my book, Retirement Planning 101. If you want a free copy of that, I'll even pay for the shipping. And this goes in, my book goes into all these top 5 planning areas and even more. I want you to call the station right now, 221-1402, 221-1402, and give Kelly a little bit of info, and I'm going to mail out that book. Not on Monday. I'll mail it out on Tuesday for you. So, Rick, let's talk about the 5 key planning areas in retirement. A lot of people, I know you get this as much as I do, but when they come to see us, they say, man, I'm feeling like my finances are all over the map, and I don't know how to link them all together. And oftentimes I'll say, well, is it like a bunch of puzzle pieces kind of floating up in the air that you just kind of feel like, you need to pull together? I know you get that too.
Oh yeah, for sure. When it comes to personal financial planning, there's so many different pieces, and a lot of times it's around that retirement time frame that people start thinking, okay, I need to see if I'm prepared for that, and they start thinking about all the different things that they need to get in order, and it can be a bit overwhelming for sure.
Absolutely. So we're going to do this kind of countdown style. Doesn't mean, one's any better than the other, but we're just going to kind of count down. The 5 areas are, I'm going to list them off if you're taking notes. Number 1 is estate planning. Number 2, life insurance. Number 3, Medicare. Number 4, long-term care. And then number 5 is income planning. And we take these, depending on the situation of when people come to see us, oftentimes we create a planning timeline is what I like to call it, and kind of focus in on some of the areas because, usually it's the income planning first. Wouldn't you say that, Rick, that when people come in, they're like, hey, we just want to make sure that, we're on track, make sure we're going to have enough when we retire. But a lot of times, maybe they've already done some estate planning. They've got the will and the trust, so you can kind of check that off the list. But sometimes people have done none of this stuff.
Sure.
And like you said, kind of retirement, all of a sudden they woke up and went, whoa. I'm retiring in 2 years.
Right.
Maybe we need to do some of this stuff.
Sometimes what I get for people on the wills and trust is say they may have a trip like a cruise or a European vacation or something like that next year, and they're like, okay, we know we need to get it done before that, because they think, something could happen just in case something happens. And, that's a trigger that I find has come a sort of a common thread among some people is when they have a trip, they're like, okay, I need to get some of those documents in order.
That is the estate planning. Let's just start there. Estate planning is wills, trusts, powers of attorney, those super important documents that list out, number 1, what you own, what you want to pass on, but at the same time, how you want to pass it on.
Exactly. That's the death planning portion of it is, what you want to have happen will happen as long as you have the proper legal documents in place. If you don't, then what you want to have happen may or may not happen. We don't know.
It'll be decided by the courts.
That's right. Yep.
Most of the time.
And that might not be what you want to have happen.
I can pretty much say that's never what you want to have happen.
For sure.
You've accumulated this stuff. You've worked hard all your life to do it. Wouldn't you want to pass it on to your heirs the way that you want to do it?
Yeah. Now, what I found that sometimes people forget about estate planning is it's not only about death planning. In other words, half of it has to do with while you're still living, and that's called the powers of attorney. Sometimes people think that, the power of attorney, that's for, my executor after I pass. No, the power of attorney is for while you're living if something were to happen to you. Or even if not something happens, but let's go back to that European vacation. Let's say you want to take a year-long vacation or maybe a mission trip or whatever the case may be, and you need somebody with the power of attorney in order to affect your financial decisions for you, to pay bills and to keep your bank accounts current and such like that. So that usually is a part of estate planning process, but yet it's not for your heirs' benefit, it's for your own benefit.
For sure. Number 2, we're going to talk about life insurance. Rick, life insurance, oftentimes we get the question, do I even need life insurance in retirement?
Right.
And so I think it kind of goes back to the question always, well, what would you need it for?
Right.
And most of the time, during your working years or you're young and newly married, you buy life insurance to maybe pay off the mortgage or pay off any debt, to leave your spouse, maybe in young family, an income. So It always kind of reverts back to the income piece.
Absolutely.
You say?
Yeah, I would say the number one question to ask yourself as it pertains to life insurance is somebody else's income, usually a spouse in this example, but, if you're not married, it could be kids or something. Is their income going to be harmed, financially if I were to pass away? Mm-hmm. And if the answer is yes, then life insurance is one of the valid tools. There's others. There's annuities and personal savings and other things as well. But life insurance classically is used as income replacement if you're no longer here. If something happens to you, how do you replace that loss of income? And life insurance absolutely is a standard, protocol for that. In retirement planning, the loss of income ties back to Social Security.
That's the big one right there. I was just going to head there because a lot of times people give the rebuttal of, well, my house is paid off, all the cars are paid off, kids are out of school, college is done, whatever. Everything's paid off.
Right.
So they're always thinking in terms of, if something happens, I'm paying stuff off.
Right.
Income kind of becomes like the last thing they think about. So when we bring that up, hey, well, what about Social Security? Well, why would I need to worry about Social Security? They get it, Social Security. It's like, no. Both spouses get their own Social Security, but when one of you passes away, that Social Security goes away with them.
That's right.
The lesser of the two does not stay with you.
That's right.
Like, so when you do the numbers, a lot of times, spouses, maybe they work the same.
Yeah.
And they have very similar benefits.
Right.
And that could be a huge dent to their income
it could
in
be
retirement.
Up to 50%.
Absolutely.
So
life insurance is a huge piece of that. And usually the light bulb goes on and goes, oh, goodness. Okay, so if something were to happen to me and she lives for another 15 or 20 years, you just add up the math on 15 or 20 years of lost income.
Yeah.
That could be called moving to a new neighborhood.
And the other part of that would be if there's a pension involved, that could also be a loss of income.
Absolutely. So that was number 1 and number 2, estate planning and life insurance. When we come back, we still got 3 more. If you've got questions about this, I want you to go to a website right now. Visit talktopatrick.com. talktopatrick.com. You'll find my online calendar, and I'd love to answer any questions about, these 5 areas, or answer any questions about your planning that you got going right now. We'll be back in a minute.
Don't touch that dial. Patrick will be right back.
You've heard me say how important it is to get your estate planning in order. Financial planning is more than just the investments. Don't leave your loved ones stuck with inheritance issues or huge estate tax problems. Get your will, trust, and powers of attorney in line today. I want you to call my trusted friends at Kenny and Noreen, 244-7777, and let them help you get your estate documents in order quickly and affordably. Call Kenny and Noreen today at 244-7777. Procrastination only hurts the ones you love, so get it done. Call Kenny and Noreen or visit online at lawnorcal.com. If you're listening to this show, chances are you're probably retired or you're getting real close. If you want to learn how to generate a consistent lifetime paycheck from your investments without worrying about the stock market, it's time for us to talk. Schedule a free, no-obligation call with me today by visiting talktopatrick.com. On the call, I'll show you exactly how to achieve peace of mind in retirement. Visit talktopatrick.com. That's talktopatrick.com. Don't wait. This is too important. Schedule your call now at talktopatrick.com.
Homeownership. Are you ready? You may be more ready than you think. Are you tired of wasting money renting a home or apartment? Mortgage Matt with Megastar Financial not only makes the buying process easy, his mortgage experience and real estate connections can help you find the home of your dreams.
Hi, Mortgage Matt here with Megastar Financial. My advice for anyone looking to purchase a home is to first find out what financing you qualify for. With a limited number of homes currently on the market, this step can allow you to focus on finding a home you qualify for and be prepared to make an offer when you find that perfect home. My team at Megastar Financial has the expertise of making sure your loan closes on time so you and your family can start making memories. Go to megastarreading.com today and start your pre-qualification process. I will personally respond to your application within 24 hours and set up your complimentary mortgage review. Are you ready?
Contact Mortgage Matt at 999-9000 or online at megastarreading.com. MLS number 260571, Equal Housing Lender.
Welcome back to Retirement Lifestyles.
Welcome back to the show. This is Retirement Lifestyles. This is where it's all about having the health, wealth, and freedom to live your dream retirement. This is our Memorial Day weekend show. We're talking about the top 5 planning areas of retirement, and we're kind of going countdown style. Before we launch back in, I want to give away another book. If you've been wanting a copy of my book, Retirement Planning 101, I'm going to give you a free copy for listening to the show. I'll even mail it to you. I'll pay for the postage. Just pick up the phone right now. Dial 221-1402. 221-1402. Give Kelly a little bit of information, and we will mail that book out ASAP. We've gotten through 2 of our countdown. The first one was estate planning, getting your wills, trusts, powers of attorney in order. Number 2 was life insurance. Doing a little bit of planning, making sure that, if there's life insurance, a need, if you're going to lose an income because maybe a spouse passes away, doing some planning to make sure that you can make up that income, and life insurance is a great way to do that. Rick, you mentioned really at the very tail end of that. So let's launch into that because you talked about pensions at the very end. Tell us about that.
Well, similar to Social Security, which is essentially an annuity pension, a federal annuity pension, there are also, of course, both private and state and federal pensions out there for, namely, government workers in that case. Well, if you have a single life pension, that means that when you're gone, that pension is gone. And so a lot of times what can happen in this scenario is maybe maybe you got married after you started the pension, so there was no joint life to enact it at that point. Or, whatever the case may be, is if the pension does not have spousal continuation benefits, then there will, in fact, be a loss of income when you pass away to the tune of however much that pension is. So, therefore, there may be a strong reason, again, to go back to the life insurance, to have life insurance to help replace that.
That's what it's for. Yeah. Number 3, Medicare. Talking about Medicare, once you hit 65, you are eligible for Medicare benefits, Part A, Part B, Part C, Part D, all the different things about Medicare, which can be a maze unto itself. I think we've even done a whole show on Medicare, right? Talking about those different parts. They can get a little confusing. So you want to talk to somebody who knows about Medicare. And obviously the difference between the plans, and make sure that, when it comes to your health insurance, that you're completely covered and what that looks like. And a lot of times people, Rick, they're surprised that they're even paying for any of that Medicare. They're like, well, I paid into the taxes all this time. Don't I get completely free? It's like, well, the hospital part might be, but the doctor part, guess what? They hold it right out of your Social Security. Thank you very much, Social Security. That's right. Those two systems are integrated such that monthly premium for Medicare is withheld from your Social Security check. About $150. Right. And you mentioned that as like almost a hidden tax, almost a hidden, decrease of Social Security benefits. That's the way they do it. They up the Part B premiums, they do little sneaky things like that to cut into benefits. Yes, they do. So, again, that could be, I see your look on your face like I could go down that rabbit trail for about 2 hours. Right. But we're not going to. No. Our 4th one is long-term care, and this kind of goes hand in hand. In the second half of the show, folks, we're going to be diving into disability insurance because it's been Disability Insurance Awareness Month in the month of May. But we'll do a quick one here on long-term care. Rick, long-term care is not paid by Medicare. It is custodial care. It's care for the activities of daily living, and this type of care alone could be or has been listed as the number one cause of bankruptcy in retirement.
Yeah, I mean, it can be a huge expense for sure because it's expensive, by very definition.
I mean, to the tune of like $8,000 a month, and so depending on the area, that's in Reading.
Yeah, it's crazy. So the way to mitigate against that is to have some sort of insurance protection against that. Everybody has a long-term care plan presently. It is to pay all of your assets down till you're impoverished.
Spend it down.
And then Medi-Cal will kick in at that point, which is called Medicaid federally. But, if you don't like that plan, then the alternative is to get a different plan. And a different plan is either a monthly insurance plan or a one-time lump sum investment into an asset-based long-term care policy.
So there's different avenues that you can take. It's just sitting down and looking at the different options that you have. Most of the time, that's all it takes, Rick. Is just doing a little bit of planning, going, oh, okay, I didn't even know that I could do that. That one fits our lifestyle.
Right.
Especially when it comes to like long-term care insurance, the old traditional way is to buy insurance that pays for that.
Right.
Well, the number one gripe about that is I paid in all this money, and then I died quietly at night, in my sleep and never needed it.
Right. Yeah.
Well, number one, that's how I want to go. I don't really want to go to a long-term care facility for 2 years, so I'm not going to be griping about not using my long-term care insurance. But it is a valid concern. So there's other products out there, like you were saying, that could take care of that type of need, and maybe you just don't know about them.
Yeah, and to bring that full circle, that other type is built on a life insurance, and we just got done discussing life insurance, so it might be a case to where you could kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys have gotten smart at some of these insurance companies. Yep. There's a reason they're in those big glass buildings, Rick. These guys are smart, right? That's the reason. Oh, gosh. Okay, let's go. We got one more. We've been doing this countdown style. Number one is income planning, and that's what Rick and I would just get giddy about. And Rick, we've only got 2 minutes until the break, so we can't long win this one. Income planning is the number one thing you got to do in retirement. And when it comes to the investments, you're no longer getting a paycheck in retirement, so you got to create one from your savings. And that's what we specialize in. We can show you the ways that you can manage those investments and generate an income from them that's safe, predictable, consistent, can even increase no matter what the market does, so that while you're in retirement, this market's just going to keep doing up and down, up and down. You don't want to stress out about that, right, Rick?
Absolutely. No, you want to enjoy your retirement, and we want not only you to enjoy your retirement, but also your spouse when you're no longer here. So we'll bring it full circle and make that income plan last not only for you, but back to number 5 with the estate planning, make it last for your spouse as well.
That's good stuff. So again, the countdown was estate planning, life insurance, Medicare, long-term care, income planning. Those are the 5 top key planning areas. Now, once you start getting into planning, there's a whole lot of stuff out there that needs to be done. But those are the main areas that you should be focusing on. If you're already in retirement, do a review. If you're getting close, make sure that you're tying those things down. If you got questions about that, I want you to visit talktopatrick.com. talktopatrick.com. You'll find my calendar online. Book a phone call with me. There's no charge. I'd love to answer any questions that you have and make sure that you are headed to the retirement lifestyle that you want. We'll be back in a minute.
You've heard me say it's all about having the health, wealth, and freedoms you need to live your dream retirement. When it comes to the health side, I want to tell you about my family's personal chiropractor, Dr. Todd Royce, owner of Chiropractic First. Not only does he adjust us and get us back to our active lives, he teaches us about ongoing nutrition and living healthier. If you have any pain or stiffness in your back or neck, I want you to call Chiropractic First today at 243-0889. Mention Patrick for a free consultation. You don't need to live with pain or discomfort anymore. Call Dr. Todd at 243-0889 or visit online at chirofirst.net. You've heard me say it's all about having the health, wealth, and freedom you need to live your dream retirement. Keep your health, and you'll keep more of your wealth. And that leads to the lifestyle you've always wanted. Strong City Strength and Conditioning is ready to help you achieve the best fitness results you've ever had. Strong City is located on Victor Avenue and is offering group classes that are fun and designed to get you in great shape. Call them today at 510-3049. That's 510-3049. If you've listened to my show before, then you know I talk to a lot of people about their retirement planning. For 20 years, I've taught people just like you the secrets of how to set up and manage their investments for a lifetime of income, how to create a predictable, consistent, and safe retirement paycheck that can increase every year no matter what the market does. Now it's your turn. Visit retirementfilm.com and watch a free training video I recorded. Go now to retirementfilm.com. That's retirementfilm.com.
Welcome back to Retirement Lifestyles.
Welcome back to the show. We're celebrating, always celebrating with the weather's warming up. It's getting about time to be heading out to the lake. And speaking of heading out to the lake, just picked up my boat this past week. Got it back from NorCal Water Sports. Chris and his team over there, I want to mention those guys because they take care of my boat beautifully. If you got watercraft, boats, jet skis, all that stuff, and you're looking for somebody to winterize them, to de-winterize them, get you ready, get you back out on the water, I want you guys to call NorCal Water Sports and speak to Chris and mention the show. You'll get a discount of some sort out there, but they do a wonderful job, and I can attest to that personally. And they'll take care of your boat. So it is Memorial Day weekend, and that's why we're talking about getting out on that water. We were talking about eating lots of cookies and hot dogs earlier, right, Rick?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a good time to barbecue and have some fun and enjoy.
And the whole time we're going to remember and honor those men and women who gave the ultimate sacrifice and laid down their lives for this country, because freedom is not free. And so we say thank you. We honor their memory. We honor their families, and say thank you to current men and women serving in the military for everything that you do for us. So we are going to bring on Jesse, the head pro out at Tierra Oaks Golf Course. My man, are you with us?
I'm with you. Good morning, Patrick.
Good morning. Love to have you on the show here, and I just get my pen ready to take my notes because I am a golf addict, as most of you listeners know out there. You've heard me talk on the radio here about golf for years, and it's all about getting better at the game. So that's why we love bringing on Jesse from Tierra Oaks to give us a golf tip and let us know what's going on out at Tierra Oaks. Jesse, take it away.
All right. Well, as we've talked about before, how important the short game is, so I thought I'd talk a little bit about that and talk about chipping right around the greens. One of the common flaws or something I see is a lot of times people flipping at the ball or trying to help the ball into the air, and it kind of does the opposite. You either chunk it and you end up right back where you were, or you skull it across the green and have to chip again. So one great way to fix that, I try and teach people to do almost a putting motion and let the wedge do the work. It'll pop it right up in the air, kind of get it onto the green and rolling. And another thing that, like I said, with flipping their wrists, if you can keep your wrist just ahead of your club head, kind of have a forward press at the start and then just rock your shoulders and keep your hands ahead of the club head, that'll stop from those flub shots right around the greens and save you a lot of strokes.
Sounds like just kind of keeping it simple, taking it back to the basics. Is that what I'm hearing, Jesse?
Keeping it simple. Simple is the best way, especially on your short game.
Keeping the moving parts down to a minimum. I think we're also going to have a show one of these days with you that takes us through all the different words and vocabulary in the golf world. As we're going through it, it's like skull it, flub it, flip it, shake it, throw it, all the things. It's like when I talk to my wife, she's like, "What are you even speaking English?" So I think
we have our own dictionary.
That's good stuff. Great tip today. Are there any announcements going on at the club or anything you want to say there?
Obviously, it's hot, but we've got lots of shade out here. It's not too bad. Play's not too crazy busy, so you won't be sitting out in the sun waiting too much. You'll be able to get right around. So I encourage everybody to get out. If you don't already have plans on the lake, come out and play some golf.
Perfect. Folks, I want you to call Jesse at Tierra Oaks and go out and see the club if you haven't. Jesse gives all these tips. He gives lessons, and you can book lessons with him out there at the club. And if you mention the show, he's going to give you a free bucket of range balls. Go look at the facility, hit some balls, have some fun out there. But take advantage. That's why we bring Jesse on the show here. If you're a golfer and you want to get better, I'm telling you, the pros have teachers. You got to get some education. You got to get somebody looking at your swing, and Jesse's the one to do it. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks, Patrick. Appreciate it.
All right. We are going to also mention Strong City Strength and Conditioning. Rick, we were kind of joking before about eating hot dogs and cookies and having fun this weekend, and we just need to kind of break even, and that's why you and I go to Strong City Strength and Conditioning.
Absolutely. You know, I love lifting the weights and doing some weight training and getting stronger, and that will help with, like you said, the eating and whatnot throughout the week. So
I think that's the fun piece. Folks, if you've been thinking about, getting healthy, I want to encourage you, especially in retirement. We encourage all of our clients, we encourage you folks to stay fit, stay active, get out and do stuff, especially here in the North State. There's so many activities we can be doing. But, for your health, for the longevity, that's what it's all about. And playing on the ground with them grandkids, that's what it's all about, too. So I want you to reach out to Strong City Strength and Conditioning. Mention the show. David and the coaches over there will give you 3 free classes. Try it out. And then if you do become a member, you're going to get your first couple of months for a big discount. So definitely check out Strong City Strength and Conditioning. When we come back, Rick's going to walk us through a market update, and then we'll be going into to wrap up Disability Insurance Awareness Month. 4 myths of disability. Don't go anywhere.
Smooth. You're listening to Retirement Lifestyles with Patrick McNally.
You've heard me say how important it is to get your estate planning in order. Financial planning is more than just the investments. Don't leave your loved ones stuck with inheritance issues or huge estate tax problems. Get your will, trust, and powers of attorney in line today. I want you to call my trusted friends at Kenny and Noreen, 244-7777, and let them help you get your estate documents in order quickly and affordably. Call Kenny and Noreen today at 244-7777. Procrastination only hurts the ones you love, so get it done. Call Kenny and Noreen or visit online at lawnorcal.com. If you're listening to this show, chances are you're probably retired or you're getting real close. If you want to learn how to generate a consistent lifetime paycheck from your investments without worrying about the stock market, it's time for us to talk. Schedule a free, no-obligation call with me today by visiting TalkToPatrick.com. On the call, I'll show you exactly how to achieve peace of mind in retirement. Visit TalkToPatrick.com. That's TalkToPatrick.com. Don't wait. This is too important. Schedule your call now at TalkToPatrick.com.
Homeownership. Are you ready? You may be more ready than you think. Are you tired of wasting money renting a home or apartment? Mortgage Matt with Megastar Financial not only makes the buying process easy, his mortgage experience and real estate connections can help you find the home of your dreams.
Hi, Mortgage Matt here with Megastar Financial. My advice for anyone looking to purchase a home is to first find out what financing you qualify for. With a limited number of homes currently on the market, this step can allow you to focus on finding a home you qualify for and be prepared to make an offer when you find that perfect home. My team at Megastar Financial has the expertise of making sure your loan closes on time so you and your family can start making memories. Go to megastarreading.com today and start your pre-qualification process. I will personally respond to your application within 24 hours and set up your complimentary mortgage review. Are you ready?
Contact Mortgage Matt at 999-9000 or online at megastarreading.com. MLS number 260571, Equal Housing Lender.
Welcome back to Retirement Lifestyles.
Welcome back to the show. This is Retirement Lifestyles, where it's all about having the health, wealth, and freedom to live your dream retirement. I'm your host, Patrick McNally, with me, Mr. Rick Comerick, and we're in the second half of our show. If you missed any of the first half, we talked about the top 5 planning areas of retirement. Simply go to rlaplan.com and click on the media tab. We'll have that show up next week, but we've got our past shows on there as well. rlaplan.com and click on the media tab. And if you want, I'm going to give you a copy of my book, Retirement Planning 101. If you want to get a copy in your hands, I'll even pay for the shipping to get it to you. Just pick up the phone right now and dial 221-1402. 221-1402. Give Kelly a little bit of information, and we will mail that out on Tuesday after the holiday there. So 221-1402. Rick, you got a market update for us?
I do. Here are a couple of the weekly economic and financial headlines for week ending May 28, 2021. First quarter consumer spending growth was revised up to an even better 11.3% annualized. Monthly data showed that nominal spending rose 0.5 in April, but inflation-adjusted real spending ticked down a touch to negative 0.1% month over month. The Fed's preferred inflation gauge rose to 3.1% year over year in April, breaching the 2% target that they have for that for the first time since 2018. Speeches from Fed officials earlier in the week helped calm inflation fear. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah. We'll keep watching that. As far as the financial markets go for the 5 days, pretty much all up across the board, around 1 to 2% from the Dow to the NASDAQ. European markets similarly were all up about 1%, and then Asia was up around 2 to 3% as well. So overall, a positive upward trend in the markets this past week.
Okay, thank you very much. So let's transition, Rick. It has been the month of May has been what's called Disability Insurance Awareness Month.
Right.
And obviously we didn't get too many shows in to talk about disability. We talked about long-term care in the first half.
Yep.
But you've got a list here of 4 myths surrounding disability insurance. And disability insurance, obviously, Rick, that's for income replacement. You know, that's what we typically think of it as. If something were to happen to you, you get hurt,
yep,
it's going to help pay your bills.
Exactly right. So the two main income replacement tools are life insurance and disability insurance. Life insurance, maybe it should be called death insurance because that's what it's really for. But regardless, disability insurance is a little more intuitive. It's for when you become disabled. You don't die, you become disabled and can't work, so it'll help pay the bill. So we've got 4 myths here. This is tied into the Guardian Workplace Benefit Study, 6th annual as well, so got some good numbers to go over. We'll start with myth number 1. It won't happen to me. People tend to believe that serious injuries or illnesses are most common among workers who are older or male or those in a hazardous profession like construction or mining. The truth is that people of all ages, demographics, and professions have roughly the same potential to experience an income-disrupting injury or illness. In fact, more than 25% of today's 20-year-olds can expect to be out of work for at least a year during their career because of a disabling condition. So that kind of struck me. 25, I didn't realize it was that high.
Yeah.
1 out of 4, right?
1 out of 4 people.
Yeah, so we got 3 here. So, okay, we're fine.
Now we're good. The 4th one, it's going to happen to him.
It's going to happen to that guy. So, of course, that's the first myth. It won't happen to me.
Right.
We don't know who it'll happen to. There's no way to predict that. And so that's the whole purpose of insurance is to insure against, those unknowns, those unpredictables. So it's
and you and I are super active. You ride bikes. I love to wakeboard and ski. I mean, we're active people. And so I think that actually probably increases your risk,
right? Which
increases the need to make sure that you're covered in case something were to happen. And that statistic about, needing at least 1 year of that type of coverage. What that tells me, Rick, is disability insurance isn't just if you become permanently disabled.
Right.
It's if something just knocks you out of work for a certain time period. I mean, it's not like your bills go away.
Yeah, you're kind of jumping to like myth 3 and 4 at this point.
I don't have the list in front of me. I'm stealing Rick's thunder.
Stealing my thunder, man. No,
okay, go on to number 2.
All right, let's go ahead and go to number 2. Which just kind of ties into what you're saying about the active piece, but here's the myth. So what you said is true. The myth is disabilities happen at work. Many working adults believe that disability accidents are generally job-related and therefore covered by workers' comp or Social Security disability insurance. However, only 5% of all disabling accidents or illnesses occur at or are related to work. Thus, the vast majority of disabilities are not covered by workers' comp or SSDI. So, like you said, if you're active out there, it's not necessarily going to be a work-related issue and something that workers' comp would cover in that regard.
Okay, so that's an important point. If you're not at work, it's not going to pay for that disability.
Exactly. Workers' comp is for work. Right.
You're getting compensated for being hurt on the job.
Yeah, and I know people that have gotten hurt, riding their bicycle. I ride my bike, so that's something that could happen to me as well. It could be anything. It could be probably, I'm guessing one of the most common things would be a car accident, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We're all kind of equal on that. We all drive cars or ride in cars at some point, and so we all have that risk of becoming, injured or disabled due to that car accident.
Or, for me, it's golf. Golf's a pretty violent sport, Rick.
Yeah, somebody could...
somebody hits me with a ball.
And they don't yell
gets
for.
Angry and throws a club.
Right.
I'm kind of joking a little bit. But that being said, a lot of people, they have desk jobs. They,
right.
maybe work in a cubicle or something like that. And they're like, I'm covered at work.
Right.
When you get out of that cube
right.
and go actually live life,
that's right.
That's when it actually happens. Okay, good stuff. Hey, let's save the next two for this next segment. We're gonna take a quick break. Before we do, folks, if you've got questions about your retirement, if you're already retired or you're getting close, and you want to just kind of make sure that you're on track, make sure that your planning is sound, or you've got some concerns right now because a lot of the things we're hearing is the market's high. Is it gonna crash? Well, if you are retired and you're pulling money from your investments, you got to make sure that those investments are going to continue to pay you the income that you want without the fear of the market crashing. So would love to answer any questions that you have about that. Simply visit talktopatrick.com and you'll find my calendar. Book a time. It's free, 30-minute call, and I'll answer any questions and we can talk about what kind of planning you have or give you some tips and strategies. The website, again, is talktopatrick.com. Back in 2 minutes.
Don't touch that dial. Patrick will be right back.
You've heard me say it's all about having the health, wealth, and freedom you need to live your dream retirement. Keep your health, and you'll keep more of your wealth. And that leads to the lifestyle you've always wanted. Strong City Strength and Conditioning is ready to help you achieve the best fitness results you've ever had. Strong City is located on Victor Avenue and is offering group classes that are fun and designed to get you in great shape. Call them today at 510-3049. That's 510-3049. You've heard me say it's all about having the health, wealth, and freedoms you need to live your dream retirement. When it comes to the health side, I want to tell you about my family's personal chiropractor, Dr. Todd Royce, owner of Chiropractic First. Not only does he adjust us and get us back to our active lives, he teaches us about ongoing nutrition and living healthier. If you have any pain or stiffness in your back or neck, I want you to call Chiropractic First today at 243-0889. Mention Patrick for a free consultation. You don't need to live with pain or discomfort anymore. Call Dr. Todd at 243-0889. Or visit online at chirofirst.net. You've heard me say how important it is to get your estate planning in order. Financial planning is more than just the investments. Don't leave your loved ones stuck with inheritance issues or huge estate tax problems. Get your will, trust, and powers of attorney in line today. I want you to call my trusted friends at Kenny and Noreen, 244-7777, and let them help you get your estate documents in order quickly and affordably. Call Kenny and Noreen today at 244-7777. Procrastination only hurts the ones you love, so get it done. Call Kenny and Noreen or visit online at lawnorcal.com. If you've listened to my show before, then you know I talk to a lot of people about their retirement planning. For 20 years, I've taught people just like you the secrets of how to set up and manage their investments for a lifetime of income, how to create a predictable, consistent, and safe retirement paycheck that can increase every year no matter what the market does. Now it's your turn. Visit retirementfilm.com and watch a free training video I recorded. Go now to retirementfilm.com. That's retirementfilm.com.
Welcome back to Retirement Lifestyles.
Welcome back to the show. We're headed into our last segment. We've been talking about a lot of stuff. If you missed the first half of the show, we broke down the top 5 planning areas of retirement and spoke into each one of those: estate planning, life insurance, Medicare, long-term care, income planning. We are now talking about 4 myths surrounding disability insurance because we're wrapping up Disability Insurance Awareness Month, the month of May. Gotten through 2 of those. So what I'm going to say is this: if you missed any of that, I want you to visit rlaplan.com. rlaplan.com. paycheck.com, and you can click on the radio show media tab, and you'll find. We'll get this show uploaded next week, but we've got our last, I think, like 7 or 8 shows on there as well, and it's also podcasted, so you can make sure that you get caught up. Rick, we're through 2, right?
Yep.
Two myths. Take us on to myth number 3.
Number 3, disabilities are catastrophic. People make incorrect assumptions about what qualifies as a disability. They wrongly believe the term is more restrictive and applies to catastrophic conditions such as paralysis from a car accident. That's what I mentioned, because that's what I think of. Or debilitating stroke. Many do not realize that disabilities typically are the result of less severe injuries and more. And more common conditions, here's one, such as pregnancy. And I'm the first to say I was not aware that was considered a disability. I thought it was an amazing ability, but regardless.
Wow.
So here we go. We've got leading causes of disability for short-term and long-term. Number 1, short-term, is maternity. Okay, 26%. Now,
you can literally put in for like a disability claim if you're pregnant?
That's what I wanted to check on. I was like, I hadn't really heard of that. I wasn't aware of that. I know, 18 years ago when my wife had our first kid, they didn't have that. So I went to the source. I went to ca.gov, and I printed out their disability insurance information. So here it is verbatim. Did you know, as a pregnant mom, you can receive up to 4 weeks of disability insurance benefits for a normal pregnancy before your expected due date? You can also receive up to 6 weeks for normal delivery or 8 weeks for cesarean section of disability insurance benefits after your delivery to recover from childbirth.
Wow.
So, yeah, I learned something through this. I became more aware of disability insurance through this.
So that's wasn't
specific
available
to California. But yeah, as far as I know, it wasn't available 18 years ago, or we just didn't know
about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I get benefits from
Can we go retroactive?
Retroactive benefits?
Totally.
Do they give any benefits for teenagers? Because they are, I feel disabled sometimes with teenagers.
Right.
They knock me down.
Totally.
No, that doesn't count.
Not going to work. I'll mention a couple others of the leading causes. Mention the short term was the maternity, number 1, musculoskeletal, non-back related, then injury. I think that's probably one of the most common short term that we think of. At least I do, like if I crash on my bicycle or something like that. Then on the long term, the top 3 are cancer, circulatory, and then also muscular skeletal non-back, and then number 4 in there is some sort of back injury. So those are the leading causes. Now we're at our 4th and final myth. Disability insurance is for the disabled. Well, I mean, it's kind of in the name, right? The name conjures up images of permanent, life-altering disabilities rather than less serious injuries or treatable illnesses. Based on the name alone, it's unclear that disability insurance provides Here's the key punchline, the key word, replacement income for several months or years, depending on your policy. I'll add to that, in California, if you're an employee, the disability is up to 52 weeks. So that's a year or less. So in my opinion, that's regarded as short term. Mm-hmm. So if you want to add what would be considered long term, a year or more, then it would be insurance, above and beyond California's short term disability policy.
So when you're looking for policies or you're shopping, maybe they've got like a deductible, or waiting period of a year.
Right.
So that'll obviously affect the pricing.
Exactly.
Because if you're going to get that year covered by the state of California, why pay for a policy that's going to, kick in at 3 months?
Exactly. I'm glad you brought that up. And as far as if you're going to get paid from California, like you said, let's be clear that disability insurance isn't 100%, income replacement.
Right.
It's maybe around 60%, could be a little more or could be a little less. It's kind of dependent on your income. We don't want to get into the formulas right now, but the point being is it is not a full replacement. So that's another compelling reason to acquire additional disability insurances beyond sort of the state, provided. When I say state provided, you're paying for it. You can look on your pay stub. It's called CASDI. That's California State Disability Insurance.
So what you're basically saying is then to correct me is don't plan for having a policy that kicks in a year. If the state's going to replace 40, 50, 60% of it,
right,
put a policy in place that maybe does kick in after a month, and then you get 100% of your income for that year.
Exactly. You might let's say 90 days would be very common. That's 3 months, right? Well, what do we talk about emergency savings? Have at least 3 months.
Yeah.
So therefore, you have that period covered there. And so you can wait and then turn it on after 3 months.
Well, yeah, because it's not like you something happens to you and then you make a simple phone call and they're like, okay, we're going to flip on the check tomorrow.
Right.
No, you're going to be waiting for 2 to 3 months.
Yeah.
The government takes their time with everything.
Sure.
You got to get all the doctor's notes in and all that junk. So yeah, that ties back to having that 3 to 6 months of cushion.
Yeah, and if you've got 6 months of cushion, well, then you could make your what they call waiting period on your private policy 6 months, and that'll make the price cheaper for you in that regard.
So all this ties back to what, Rick?
Financial planning.
Folks, that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, when it comes to your life, finances involve it affects everything. Money affects everything. So it's a part of all of our lives, and that's why you need to plan for these kinds of things. And oftentimes, it's not fun to think about a lot of this stuff, right?
Right.
I mean, we don't, that's why a lot of times people put off estate planning. It isn't fun to think about, dying.
Right.
And, what happens and all that stuff. But I will guarantee you this. Once you do this kind of planning, it's going to feel like a weight is lifted, a burden lifted off your shoulders. And it goes back to one of our taglines, you're going to have peace of mind in retirement.
Absolutely. And if it's not fun for you, just think how much less fun it is for your heirs after you pass to try and do that. So,
folks, we have all kinds of resources. We'd love to give you referrals to estate planning attorneys, CPAs, insurance people, all kinds of people to add to your team to help you get your financial planning in order. All you got to do is schedule a phone call with me, a 30-minute free phone call. Go to talktopatrick.com, talktopatrick.com, and be glad to answer any questions, give you those referrals. And once again, we're going to say have a safe and fun Memorial Day weekend. Thank you, and we honor those who have given all to keep this country safe and free. And with that, I'm going to say thank you, Rick.
Thanks, Patrick.
Thank you, Kelly, and thank you for listening to Retirement Lifestyles with Patrick McNally on News Talk 105.7 KQMS.